Okay, we live on YouTube. What is up, everybody?
Sorry if you minutes late, but hey, y'all.
Yeah, we're a couple minutes late. Technical difficulties, but nevertheless, welcome back to the podcast. And we are going live on this
A
podcast.
live
So
episode.
this is the first live episode. So if you feel like you should you want to comment or say a certain thing, who cares? Go right ahead, go right ahead. But nevertheless, we're gonna jump in this. This episode is a little bit different. Tell them about what we have in store for them, if you would.
So, I found this nifty little card game. I don't know if show our other audience. It's called
Yeah.
Unpack That. I don't know if YouTube family can see it, but it's called Unpack That Therapy in a Box, and it just is a card game that's broken up into 5 different categories. So you have the good, you have wild cards. It's like completely wild questions. You have the bad, tough questions, and reflections. I hope I didn't repeat any of those. But so that's what we basically gonna do today. And if y'all are unfamiliar with us, I am Michi G, author of the book I Lost My Mom, Now What? It's available on Amazon. If you're on Facebook, it is pinned to the top of my page if you want to check that out if you haven't. And I have my other co-hosts.
And it's none other than your boy Husky Hefe, the fat fitness model, Jose Cortez. Can't forget Jutro, and I am the creator of Husky Labs. You all will learn more about that in the near future. From Husky Labs, you have Husky Cheesecake. So if you want some bomb cheesecake, Tennessee style, check us out. Make your taste buds go wild. One taste, you feel like a child again. But nevertheless, I'm not going to jump into all that. We're going to jump into unpacking that.
But before we get into unpacking that, because we have some newer people that may be, since we're live, this is a live episode, y'all may be like, who are they? What is this about? So this podcast was stemmed, like I said, from my book, I Lost My Mom, Now What? Where I wrote about how I pretty much handled my grieving process with how I lost my mom. So this podcast serves as a spinoff to that, where initially it was my safe space I created to talk about things I struggled with, the grieving process from my lens. But as our podcast episodes progressed, I just realized that, sometimes I can't process grief because I haven't learned how to unpack and deal with other things in my life. So each episode is basically just to help me and my husband Josh to better ourselves and be vulnerable, ask tough questions like we're gonna ask with this card game. But it's just basically a safe space to work through issues and to become better humans. And from us doing this, hopefully we inspire y'all. And yeah,
So yeah, this podcast is cooking up, as I would like to say, and like she stated, it does help with certain topics that normally isn't talked about. It's therapeutic in a sense.
it's our own self therapy,
Yeah,
basically.
it helps me through a lot of things. Sometimes therapists can cost. If you want to go to a therapist, you can do that, or if you want to just check out the podcast, chill with the I Lost My podcast, and if you want to be a guest, don't forget you can be a guest. If you make sure you go to I Lost My Podcast at gmail.com, send us a message, or I Lost My Podcast at yahoo.com. But man, this is about to be a good one. So nevertheless, we are going to do a game called Unpack That, which is it's therapy in a box.
Yes.
So
let's start. Which one you want to start with? Wild card, the good. Let's start with the good.
Yeah.
Let's start with wild card because let's get the wild out the way.
Yeah, let's get the wild
So
card.
it actually says, I don't know if either can see, but it actually
She's showing
says
it to the camera.
wild card. I don't know if it shows up on.
It's
YouTube,
probably
sorry.
the lighting is just, but you know how to spell wild card. So whatever.
Sorry. Okay. Wow.
Hey.
My bad. My bad.
Fell out the hand. So I guess I'll read this
Okay.
wild card. So it says, give each other a high five for allowing yourself to be vulnerable.
Woo! It's not too wild, but okay.
Wow. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. Let's go with good. The good next. I don't know if y'all can see either way, but it does say the good. I'll pull the top one. It says, what can I do to make your life easier? So I guess I'm asking you this question. Do I make your life hard? Or you don't have to answer that question. But what can I do to make your life easier?
To make my life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Big thing I can say, I'm gonna be honest. The one thing that you can do to make my life a lot more easier is detach from work when it's time to detach. And
Yeah.
by detaching, I mean detach from work. Let's not pick up the phone and go and get into that realm because it's like from one bad to the other bad,
I'll
and
be
it's like
stressed.
so because and I say this because it like you said you be stressed. You just said it yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
then once you go from work stressing you out or being on your nerves that day, then you jump on social media and you seeing
Yep.
negativity and different
Energy.
things and
Okay.
and you see different things. Now it's like it's gonna spew over into some unwanted words or feelings and
Yeah.
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 So that's about the biggest thing. Just mind disconnect from when you off work. I think like as soon as you clock out,
Mm-hmm.
the next hour to 2 hours, you probably shouldn't even pick up the phone. Just really decompress from that. So because I don't want
Yeah.
it to like let it spill over. Like we've seen it spill over and
It
it
has.
gets it gets a little intense. So
Yeah. Understandable. I received that. I received that. You
so
wanna?
do I pick one?
Yeah.
Which one?
Anyone you want. We
Uh,
did wild card and the good. I think we did. Yeah, we
okay.
did the good.
Well, I'm gonna go
I should put these in the
with
middle. My bad.
tough question.
Okay.
Okay. So, this question is what is one thing you are afraid to ask me?
Ooh. One thing I'm afraid to ask you. Am I? I don't know. That's a interesting question because I feel like I always ask you anything that pops in my head. Hmm. I really don't know. If I could get, and it's nothing specific, but maybe I can say, and not that we have disagreements or arguments often, but like when you're mad, like I be trying to figure out, I be trying to probe to see, to see how we can get to a solution. And so I be like, well, do I ask you how you feel or like ask you certain questions? But I feel like also that doesn't count because I feel like it should be. I don't know. I feel like generally speaking, in our relationship, I pretty much ask you whatever comes to my mind. So I don't know if that's really
Yeah.
a
Even in
part.
situations, so we had a situation the other day, and I was heated, boy. I was bubbling. And she didn't mind, despite me bubbling and seeing that I was
I'm
bubbling and
solution
boiling.
based.
She did not mind asking me, well, let's shouldn't we talk about it? And I'm
Let's
just like,
talk
look,
about it.
right now, I didn't want to talk about it. And my explanation for that is sometimes you have to cool off because in that situation, in that moment, if I was to try and explain my emotions,
Mm-hmm.
it probably would have went to somewhere unwanted. So I was like, let's just let me just not talk at this point. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
I understand. I think now that I'm aware of effective communication, even if I have an attitude or something, I'm adamant about, okay, let's talk about it. Let's solution. What is the solution to this
right,
issue?
right, right.
So that's my, but I also know how to read the room. So I'm like, if you need space, I'm going to give you space. So,
Yeah. So when tempers are high,
sometimes you got space. Sometimes you don't have to argue. Sometimes it's like, let's not talk right now. So,
yeah,
so yeah. What you just pull from?
I did
Tough
tough
questions. Let me
questions.
do the bad. Let me see. Are there any viewpoints I have that make you question our relationship? Are there any viewpoints I have that make you question our relationship? Viewpoints. Maybe like my views on something.
It's not really much viewpoints that I feel like make me question our relationship. We tend to see eye to eye, on most situations, and if we don't, we talk through it. And I'm very understanding and try to understand your viewpoint. So it's nothing like that I feel would be, oh my God, super detrimental or anything like that. In our relationship, yeah. So
same, like we actually have like healthy. I can't even say they're debates. We'd be like, well, I see. Let's try looking at it from this way. Maybe we try to see different viewpoints, but usually we think alike. But I think I may be more prone to be like, well, let's see their point of view and how this is happening.
If I was to say anything, and it doesn't make me question my relationship, it makes me question, like, you'll get up and drive sometime. And that's when it's like, going to certain events and putting yourself out there more.
Yeah, I got social anxiety.
Yeah, so I kind of get a little antsy. Like, do you want success how you say you want it, or do you want to just, what I'm saying? So that's something that I kind of be like,
Understood.
Yeah, it kind of racks my brain.
I'm getting a little better. Well, I think the more we actually go out to events and the more I just be like, jump. This is my year to like just jump. Even if I'm terrified and I'm scared and I feel like I'm look stupid or something, like even going live. I don't go live, so
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, so it's on me. How many cards we did?
We did 4 so far.
Alright. So this is the 5th one, reflection. Would you rather be loved, respected, or admired?
Loved, respected, or admired? I think I'd rather be respected. Well, I don't know, because I want to be loved. So the way that I view like loved and admired is like from a general standpoint. Like, do you want to be loved by like outside forces? Do you care that like other people see what you're doing and they're like, I love this, or I admire you? Like, do you care about that, or do you care about respect? But then I'm like, well, loved and admired could be on a personal level with like you. So I'm like, I don't know. Ooh. But then you can be loved but not respected. Let me see. Respected, because even if I have love, like I would, because what is it to be loved but then you still getting disrespected, So I'm a roll with respect. I'd rather be respected if I had to choose between respected, loved, and admired. What about you?
I lean towards respect as well. Out of the respect, love, admired, because look, just respect me, bro. And respect come with respecting my space, respecting my time, respecting my energy, like respecting all that. Like all that matters. Love, don't get me wrong. Like love is right there in the forefront. Admire, I don't care. I don't really care to admire me, so I throw that away, throw that out. But respecting me, like that's a big thing, I die on that hill, like, just respect me. Just give me respect, because I give everybody respect. That's the one thing you can get. I give everybody love too. I don't believe in hate. So I don't believe in hate. I believe that you don't hate someone, you just love them very minuscule to a very minuscule degree or minute degree. So yeah,
respect it for you too.
Yeah.
You want to do one more, or should we do like 2 more? What you think?
Do 3 more.
3 more? Go. I'm going to do reflection. Well, no, you just did reflection. Hold on. Let me put that back. Let's do tough questions. Let's make it juicy. What is something about me that makes you uncomfortable? What is something about me that makes you uncomfortable?
And I know it's something you're working through,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of we kind of touched on it earlier with the other question. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that anxieties or anxious nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I'm a firm believer that you can see something. You see something in people that they can't necessarily see in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can see you doing wonderful things in the beauty, the health space,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's only a matter of you just jumping and doing it and locking in and stop being when we go into rooms or see certain people, stop having anxieties or letting that take you over sometime. And it's gotten better, but that's just that's one thing that makes me uncomfortable because it is an anxiety. Like I mean, I like to say anxiety is looking too far in the future and trying to
Mm-hmm.
pinpoint everything.
Overanalyzing.
Yeah. So with that anxiety aspect is like, man, just chill and realize we right here, right now, and all you can do is operate right here, right now. So
Mm-hmm.
all that, you know what I'm saying, the fake things in your head, like, oh, what if they what what the hell? Like we don't care. We
Yeah.
don't care, just do you.
Yeah.
So
Question to build upon that. Do you feel like when I do experience social anxiety, do you feel like it holds you back, like when we're in public?
um yeah, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I'll say yeah because now I'm wondering, well, how is my wife feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And in certain spaces, you like go and get it, but I'm not. Excuse me. It's tough for me to go and get it and just forget about the person that's in this boat with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And some people say, hey, sometimes you just gotta do it, but it's something that I battle with. So yeah,
Yeah.
in that instance, if you going through it, I'm going through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that one aspect, you feel it, and
We share energy, so
yeah,
if it's
maybe
a
I need to.
hindrance to one, it's a hindrance to.
Yeah. So I
Understood.
mean, honestly, and let's say in those spaces, I like let's say we in one of those spaces, like
Mm-hmm.
it may bother me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you give me permission to just go out and still get it, or are you more reluctant to be like, no, just see about me? Now that's
You know what's interesting, and we're gonna have to test this theory by going to more events. But I feel like when I see you turning up, I naturally be like, all right, I got match his energy. Like,
mm-hmm.
even if on the inside I'm like, oh shoot, like people looking at us or whatever. Like I feel like I feed off your energy initially. Like I feel like maybe I'm social, but
So if I go
I
to
don't know.
10,
We'll
do
have
you
to
feel
see.
like do if I go to 10, do you feel like you can go to 10 as well?
In my own little way. Now I'm not like we're two completely total different
10,
people, but I
but
feel like I can go to 10 in my own way.
I asked that because like I'm gonna go to 10 when it's turn up time. Like I've been in situations where it's been like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm just gonna be here for an hour,
Mhm.
and then 10 happens. Do you feel like you can go to that 10 with me, or you feel like,
I think I can.
hmm,
Like I said, the more we get out, like, because I can say, though, I still experience it every now and again. Like, each time we go out, I'm, like, more comfortable around people. Because I think, like, with what was it, the quarantine and stuff, I just got so used to being, like, home and, like, my little bubble. So it's like the more we get out, the more I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. Oh, somebody spoke to me. Let me say, hey
yeah.
y'all. Like people aren't that bad, but
So like
it's
kind of
possible.
like we said, unpacking this and all.
Hmm.
Where would you say like you get most of your personality from? What parent or grandparents?
That's tough because I have a lot of parts of my dad.
Let's say
Everybody gonna know this.
social, your social aspect.
Social, that's tough because I feel like my mom and my dad, like, they were interchangeable. Like, my
Mm-hmm.
dad, when my mom was here, my mom was like a people person, not too in your face, but like she would speak and like, hey, everybody, da da da. But then there were times where my dad would outshine my mom socially, and he was the one like going around, hey, 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 and my mom kind of fell back, and she just, she spoke, but she just chill, but then there were times when it would reverse. Then I think about like my grandma, like Mama Nisi, and she's kind of like a timid soul, but she's still kind of a people person. So I'm like, I'm probably most like Nisi, honestly, but because there's a big part of me that is a people person. Like I will speak to people and say hey, and all that is just
yeah.
Going to events and like throwing myself out there. Like yeah, I don't know.
I can say like I would if I was to identify. I'd probably say more Nisi because y'all are like the same.
You have like a quiet
timid,
spirit.
quiet. But I mean, like in places people just love y'all, y'all just don't shine. Y'all play the bag, play it safe. Yeah. But I'm like, shine, get your shine on, straight up, get your shine on. That's where I'm coming from. So.
And then what we doing? 2 more?
Yeah. What we just do?
We just did tough questions.
Let's do a wild card.
What is wild card gonna ask us?
Recommend a television show or movie.
Ooh, what's that movie we watched? Run, Sweetheart, Run. Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
So he randomly found this movie called Run, Sweetheart, Run. Well, I tell y'all, I didn't know how to feel about this movie. It's like a thriller, horror, suspense. Like it's you just gotta watch it for yourself.
So I didn't randomly find it. It was like on some going through reels on Facebook.
Okay.
And somebody recommended it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks dope."
It's
but
crazy.
When I tell you that movie is bum. That movie is bum.
It's a good movie, but it's just crazy.
It's a thriller, horror thriller, but it's like a suspenseful. It was
a little weird, but it's good. It's not weird, but it's like I'm the director. I'm interested in like what made you think of this? Like where did this thought process come from? But anyway, yeah.
Oh.
What about yours?
A movie or show that I recommend? Mm-hmm. You know, Martin, the Wayans. Nah, let me give you something good. Okay, look, Yellowstone.
Don't sleep on it.
I'm gonna tell you, Yellowstone.
And Black History Month.
Hey, I did get Martin and the Wayans brother forefront, but Yellowstone is something.
It is a good movie.
That
I mean,
good show.
Series,
it's a show. It's a series.
Yeah.
It's legit. It's a lot of shows out that's good right now. I got a bone to pick with our black shows. I'm just gonna be honest.
Like
my
now,
opinion,
recent?
yeah. Okay. I want us to get away from the drugs, bro. I want us to get away from the showing of us, you know, in the drug business as if that's the only thing that black people can do. Shout out to everybody that's coming into this live, into this live podcast. But we can show different shows and movies where people of color, black people are doing way better things. Mm-hmm. It's way better scenarios. And to those that are doing shows and stuff like that, like quirky black girl shows, like that's dope. Even like I know it's not a black show. What is it? The teacher show with the comedian. Abbott Elementary. Like, not my cup of tea, but just to show us in like a different light other than the drug space and criminal space.
Yeah.
Hey man, we got some successful black people out here doing it. So show us really getting to it and getting to this money out here other than, you know, crime. And to those that do crime, hey man, y'all play it safe out there. Be
careful.
Yeah. But yeah, so if I was to recommend something, I say Yellowstone. Yeah, man.
Also, I'm rewatching. He didn't grow up necessarily watching A Different World, so I'm kind of rewatching Different World and also showing him A Different World because that's the whole reason I even wanted to go to college. And I'm realizing they had a lot of episodes, and a lot of episodes I missed. I did not see, so it's kind of fun.
They had like what 7 seasons?
I think 6 or 7.
6 or 7
and like
seasons,
20
plus episodes.
I'm like, God. But it's fun to watch for me.
I ain't gonna stunt. If I was able to see A Different World when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have went to the school I went to.
You would have went to HBCU.
I probably would have went to a HBCU just because this show is like it kind of embodies it to a different extent or whatever. But nevertheless, I am grateful for the school I went to. Shout out to Austin Peay State University. That's where I met my beautiful wife, joined my fraternity, met beautiful people in and out, through and through. So, but no, A Different World, it grew upon me. Mm-hmm. I always used to think it was just an old show, and I was like, this is way before my time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's your favorite character?
My favorite character, I thought she was annoying in the beginning when I first seen her and stuff, but Whitley, she's grown on me. But my favorite character, I gotta give it to Ron.
Cause you like Ron?
I like Ron because he's like he's a little sexual, little womanizer. I can't say womanizer because he ain't like getting them, but he be trying. He'll probe the question like sometimes. He's that friend where
it's like, bruh, sit down somewhere.
It's like sit down somewhere, but that's your dog. Like he ain't gonna let nobody do you in, do you wrong. Mm-hmm. He gonna have your back. He'll tell you about yourself too. So and kind of probe your mind. Like they'll blow him off like, Ron, you dumb, and he like, nah. Think about it this way. Let me talk to you a little bit. And he might not say it like that directly, but I feel like Ron is the epitome of a regular human being. If he was in college, I could see him in a college for real. Sometimes I could see the other people just acting, but him, it's kind of like, yeah, bro, you'll be a college person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do. Is it my turn to pick?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. That's the last card. I'm gonna end it on a good note. We're gonna pick a good from the good pile. Dang, fingers. So, last question. In what ways have we grown together and for the better?
In what ways have we grown and for the better? Man, the biggest thing I say communication.
Yes.
We had to learn to communicate. It kind of.
Would you say, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but would you say like in your upbringing, did you grow up seeing effective communication?
No. I mean, no. So, how can I put this? Mom with my dad, they argue, fuss, and fight. Like, fight. So, it wasn't effective communication.
Yeah.
But then she got my stepdad, Mike, and love my man $100,000. Like, my mama be, she grew up how she grew up in the hood and all that. But, so all she knew was get upset, get angry, and, lash out. But shout out to my stepdad, Mike. He was the first taste of like, hey, let's calm down and talk. And my mama, she communicated it to me as a young man. She was like, see, your stepdad, he didn't entertain that me being loud. He like, whoa, what you doing all this for? Let's come in the room. Like, I remember instances she'll blow up and want to talk to him, and me and my little sister go our separate way, but they'll go to the room and have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? She can still be loud, but you'll never hear my stepdad's voice, and she'll come all the way down. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't grow up. I could say about 13, 14 is when I started realizing, like, oh, they really, like, talking it out. You know what I'm saying? When I knew when that door closed during the daytime, and if she had been, like, they really talking it out. You know what I'm saying? Now, he could have been in there choking her ass out. Nah. But they was really, like my mom always told me, she was like, he didn't do that. All that raising your voice and getting loud, like.
Just chill.
Nah.
Yeah.
So, how was your communication growing up?
About the same. So my parents, not to put their business out there, but I didn't really hear effective communication. It was more yelling. We were yelling to get our point across, or like, basically yelling to get your point across. And so hearing that growing up, like, I grew to be a young human who would get agitated by hearing just people in general arguing. So I already knew at a young age, like, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody and we argue. Like, I don't think I've had an argument with anybody I love. I'm more so like, you know what? You need space. You need chill. All right, cool. Let's separate with friends, with other family. Like, I don't do the arguing thing. So in our marriage, thankful that, and I guess like when we do have disagreements, that's why I'm so adamant about no. Let's chill, take a deep breath, let's communicate. Let's find a solution to whatever the problem is. Because like that element is so important because yeah, I don't want to.
Now, one thing you had a tendency to abruptly leave.
Yeah.
So what is that about?
That comes from, again, like when you grow up, basically, I won't say too much, but like I just didn't know how to communicate. So my way of communicating was like, let me just leave. And one was like kind of for attention. I'm not gonna lie. Part of it is, or was, because I don't really do this now, but part of it was like, I'm gonna leave. I just want to create a scene and like have you text me and be like, well, what's going on, or chase after me or something. But then also needing my space, but then also needing time to process and be mad and like to validate my own anger. But now it's like, bro, it's pointless to just abruptly leave and slam the door and like, no, like chill out, check your ego. That's one thing that's really like helped us with communicating. Because sometimes in arguments we be like, no, I'm right, I gotta get my point across, or no, I gotta feel my point across. But it's like, no, there's a better way to do that. Just say, hey, this is where I'm coming from with this issue. This is where you coming from with this issue. What's the common ground? Because doing the whole I win, you win, that's not effective to the solution. So
my biggest way, I try to reset. So I know you probably seen the situations where I'm just hot, I'm just heated, and I try to isolate. I even try to take a nap just to be like this. Yes. So I got this thing where I try to take naps just to be like, oh, this ish ain't real right now.
Right.
So just to like process, and like I go to sleep angry, take this little nap, but I like force myself to sleep because I'm like, okay, I can wake up and reset. Like it happened recently, but
you was knocked out.
I took my nap. I did the same thing when I broke my mama back windshield.
We talked about that on another episode.
Yeah. So I ain't want it. I was like, dang. So I like, let me take this nap just to regroup. But after I regroup, I'm usually back to normal. After that instance, I went and cooked a bomb meal. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I will say from my point of view, how we've grown better. I will say now we are bosses. Like, we both have individual things, individual crafts that we're working on. Like, I put out my book. We're doing the podcast. I have my own YouTube channel, which is growing pretty rapidly. Thank you guys for supporting me in my Friday uploads. We'll be back next Friday. But even with you, of like your businesses, which y'all will learn about real soon, but and your own media platform, and just so many other things that we've been talking about since we got married. And it's like now we're like in overdrive. Like people, y'all might not see us, y'all might not hear from us, we might not post as much, but like now we've grown together, productively?
Yeah, true.
And effectively. So I'm proud of us for that. Like we noticed our weaknesses and what areas we're weak at, and we like, we've been getting to it for real, instead of just talking about it. Because in the beginning of our relationship, we talked so much about, man, one day I want to do this, I want to plan that.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Well, I'll just talk to y'all till he get back. But yeah, so we did a lot of, I feel like I have a PhD in like planning. Like I got, let me show y'all my journal. I mean, not my journal, my planner. So this is my planner that I got off Amazon, and it's actually a planner for 2 years, but for as long as I can remember, I've always like planned, like let me map out what days I'm gonna do this, what days I'm gonna do that, and I've done that so well, but it's like I never really put action behind it. So now this year, within like last year, the end of last year, and like now we're now actively moving. We're actively like getting stuff done. We're actively being consistent with not only content and our goals, but like eating habits, like eating more healthy. I've lost a lot of weight, and Pooh has too. So I mean, we've grown together health wise too. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm back. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Sorry, that happened.
When you're hydrated, things happen. But nevertheless, we are bosses. Big things are to come. The biggest thing we have to remember, and I say it here on this podcast, you got to stay consistent. Mm-hmm. We have to stay consistent. This is to me because I know I'm going to rewatch this. I always rewatch all the podcasts. Yes. But we have to stay consistent. We have to keep the foot on the gas. We aren't getting any younger. Actually, I stopped aging.
You just had a birthday on Tuesday.
Yeah, but I stopped aging.
Okay.
Y'all might not know why, but... To those that know, they know why.
Said I stopped counting.
But anyway, anywho, but we have to stay consistent. We have to keep the foot on the gas, and we gotta always be creatively thinking. And it's we went to a show last night. Shout out to Soul Collective.
Soul, I think 615 Soul Collective.
Soul Collective.
SOULD.
We'll throw something in there for them. But Soul Collective, we went to dang, I don't know what's the event's called.
It was at the Frisk Museum. They had
Frisk After Dark, no, or Frisk it's something like that. But something anyway, they had Wolf, a great.
That's
Alexis,
one of my favorite poets.
Is
I
it
love
Alexis?
her. I think it's Alexis Wolf.
Alexis Wolf. Mm-hmm. She's like the ranked number 15 to 14 poet in the world. Mm-hmm. She did her thing.
Chuck Indigo.
I've
always heard
did
of
his
him,
thing.
But he's dope.
And they had an art exhibit by Martasia. And beautiful art. So we went to that, and what was it was a point I was trying to make.
Going to events, growing better.
I don't know.
Oh, creative.
Yeah, but we have to keep that creative spark in us going forward. It was a point I was trying to make with this. I just got on the shout out for Soul, but
it was a good. I think they have it. What they say every Thursday or something.
I think in the month of February
maybe. But yeah, follow them on Instagram. I'm not sure if they have a Facebook page. But basically there are a lot of events going on in Nashville, whether you're a poet, artist, creatives. The Soul Collective, I think they're a good organization if you're just creative, like trying to network and, you know.
So shout out to the PSV store, man.
And yes.
That's a good guy. My boy PSV T Simp. Hey, that's a good guy. Shout out to Vibe Out, man. That's my dog. Quiz Cantrell, my dog. And I done got on a shout out spree, man. But nevertheless, we got to keep being creative, keep going, getting in these spaces, just feeling the energy. And knowing, that's what I was trying to get to. Chuck, the guy Chuck Indigo that performed at the first event, he always said, have that faith and know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So like, anything we really want to do with this podcast, with the Husky Lab, Husky Cheesecakes, with the Beauty Bodega, with all that good stuff, the Michi G channel, like we can do it. So the biggest thing we have to remember is stay consistent, stay creative, stay dangerous, and just don't stop. Don't stop. I mean, I wrote some notes on the mirror in there, and it's just like, you know, I don't wake up to be average. I wake up to be extraordinary and do amazing shit. So, biggest thing I can say for us, let's just go and do some amazing shit. Shout out to my boy Jatavius Jackson out there in Clarksville doing some amazing shit.
Shout out to my girl Naja Johnson.
Shout out to Naja Johnson doing some crazy amazing shit.
Crafts and stuff.
Shout out to Sharice Jackson. Yes, doing some amazing shit with her juices. Like
holistic.
It's so many people doing amazing things.
I'm proud of us, y'all.
I know sometimes we may get caught up in our heads like, should I? Like, man, just do it.
Doing it.
Just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all. I'm proud of us.
But yeah, that's what I want us to kind of remember.
So we're not gonna keep y'all that long. I hope y'all enjoyed this live episode. So we're also recording on Facebook too. So if you're on our Facebook watching, make sure you catch our visuals. Follow us on YouTube at I Lost My Podcast to see the full visual episode. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcast. Also at I Lost My Podcast. And we're going to drop every week. And like I said, we're growing. Our goal is to grow together. Our goal is to grow personally, but our hope is that you grow with us. So we're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. All we have is our vulnerability and our honest standpoint on what we've been through, where we come from, how we process things, and how we plan on and actually moving forward.
So we appreciate y'all for coming through this live segment. This is the first ever live podcast from I Lost My Podcast.
Y'all
it's
like
gonna
these,
get greater.
Let us know,
It's gonna get greater later. So we hope you jump on board right now. Death is going to happen. So we kind of try and help you guide through life without a loved one. So don't feel too prideful. If you want to watch this in your spare time, your free time, do it. And if you got any questions, hit us up. We don't mind sharing situations. You see the situations in real time. Nobody, you don't have to be a celebrity to come on this podcast. You don't have
to be a guest on the show if you want.
So
we have guests coming more so next season, but if you're interested in sharing your loved one with us, our goal for interviewing people is just to really bring light to our loved ones who have passed on. Just so we can, see who they were as people. The world, I'm a firm believer, the world is going to see this podcast. So, if you want a safe space to talk about your loved one and show them in the light that they lived in beautiful harmony, hit us up. Let us know. Message us on Messenger. You can email us at ilostmypodcast@yahoo. ilostmypodcast@gmail. Any of our social medias.
And in the near future, the Husky Lab will be presenting Husky cheesecakes at the Nashville Black Market. Hey. So if you are free February 11th from 11 to 7 and February 12th from 12 to 6 p.m., come out and support your boys. Support us at Husky Cheesecakes, presented by the Husky Lab. We finna go crazy. Any more events that y'all know, put us on the books. If it's hosting things, if it's things about cheesecakes and desserts and food, I'm that man, so talk to me. We about to go crazy. Look, I might have lost my podcast. Is there anything you want to say?
Nope, that's
Look,
it.
I'm going to close this out. I might have lost my podcast, but I found love when I found you. Yep. And for that reason, I'm out. I'm Husky Hefe, the fat fitness model, Jose Cortez. Can't forget Jutro.
And I'm your girl, Michi G. And thank y'all for watching, and we love y'all.
Peace.
Toodles.